All right, welcome everybody. I'm Bart Kotter, and I am really excited to share with you guys some exciting information about launching and or relaunching your ASEA business. So very excited to go through this information with you. And for some of you, this might be a little bit of a recap. This was a presentation that I shared a little while back at the Envision conference or peak performance that we did a year or so ago. So, but really some incredible, valuable information. Now, after the presentation here, I'll go ahead and stop the share. We can open it up to any questions, but I would strongly encourage you to get your pen and paper out, take some notes, because we're going to move through some pretty valuable and important information that can make all the difference in the world for your business. My goal is to help to set you up for success, to win big, to play hard, and see the results, to really reap the rewards of your efforts. And so I want to really take from the experience, the 28 years of experience I've had in network marketing, but also the experience of many other top leaders. So in fact, as we progress through this, hang on, let me go back a slide. Yeah, there we are. Okay. Try that one more time. Yeah, so the key to this is the keys to building a 6 or 7 figure annual legacy income with ASEA. And so, so this is going to be very exciting to do this. Now, some of the lessons that I learned here were lessons from the master himself, Mr. Eric Worre. Eric is the top teacher, trainer, educator in the network marketing profession. He does events with 20,000 people live, guest speakers like Tony Robbins, Les Brown, just amazing people. Well, in fact, he recently, with the COVID restrictions, he didn't let that stop him. He is certainly a man of vision. So rather than cancel his event, his huge GoPro event in Vegas this year, he built a multi-million-dollar facility to do virtual events. I think it was something like $20 million that he had into that event. So I remember going back to a 6-figure summit a while back, and this six-figure summit, in order to be able to join this event, you had to be earning $100,000 a year or more to participate. Now, I think that there were 400 people in that particular event. Yeah, there were over 400 people, all of which had been very successful. A lot of those people, in fact, were earning over $1 million a year with their network marketing business. So that, and I remember something that he said. At that meeting. He asked a question for all the people that were there. He said, by the show of hands, how many of you here have at some point in your career done a launch, like an all-out massive action, what we call AOMA. AOMA stands for all-out massive action. And you've done that for 30 to 90 days. And we're talking about a blitz. And this is like burning the candle at both ends, maybe even in the middle, just to put on your work boots, your overalls, so to speak, not literally, but really just getting in the trenches and going to work. And every single hand in that room went up and they said that they had done that. And so what we're talking about is a launch. It's a focused strategy for building your business to create the momentum to propel your business forward. And I can tell you that it is absolutely a key element to building a successful business. So I want you to think of it this way. If you were going to, if you're going to get in an airplane and the pilot says, oh, we're going to just, put that throttle down, a quarter of the way, maybe 50% of the way, and put around the airport here a little bit, you would realize that you're never going to get up off the ground, right? And of course, recently I watched a movie where one of the people taking off from an aircraft carrier did not have enough thrust, and he literally ended up in the ocean. And so when you're taking off, when you're launching your business or relaunching your business, and you can do this multiple times. In fact, when Eric asked that question with the people in the audience, he said, if you're a 7-figure a year earner, you done this launch multiple times. In fact, he recommends people do it, at least once, once, 2 or 3 times a year. There's a strategy where you can have this focused effort and then kind of back off a little bit, and then a focused effort, a focused push again. So I think that we're in a very good time right now, a very good time and space to, in our business, in our profession, to really have a launch or a relaunch of your business if you've been in for a while. So again, this is full throttle. It's all out effort to reach the altitude that you want. So again, if using the airplane analogy, you want to get up to the altitude that you want, meaning the success or the income that you want, and then from that point you can actually back off on the throttle a little bit to maintain that altitude. So you don't have to have that same focused, concentrated effort like you would for launching your business. So same thing. So that when you hit that altitude, then you can ease off a little bit. So let's just do a little analogy here, and it would be doing a comparison, the slow and steady versus the all-out massive action effort. So obviously we're talking about the tortoise or the hare. And so if our goal is to sponsor, let's say 20 people in the next 30 days, or let's say 30 to 90 days, this is that focused time and effort that we're talking about. Now let's just do the comparison here. And let's see if we can move that out of my way. So let's just look at this from a mathematics standpoint. If you're going to sponsor 10 people isn't enough to create the momentum. Let's just take the optimal example of how to get the absolute best results in your business. And I'm going to give you some examples of true winners and leaders and how they've gotten those results, because truly the best way to learn is from people who have gotten that kind of success. That's what I want to do, is I want to model the people who have had the best results and find out exactly what they've done, and then model or duplicate exactly that. Personally, I could care less about averages. What's the average? Average is the cream of the, is the worst of the best of the worst, the cream of the crap. I'm not sure what average is. I want to know what the best, most successful people have done, and let's duplicate that, because we want to have those results, right? I hope you're all on the same page with me. If you're on the same page with me, type in the chat the number 1 or yes. And so let's look at these averages. So 12 will do something. Okay, so we're going to work these numbers backwards. So when you're on this all-out massive push, you're going to find when you sponsor 20 people, let's say, 12 of those 20 people will actually do something. They'll order the product, they'll stay on for a little while. You'll find 8 of those people will be active after 90 days. And this is, by the way, statistical averages, not just with ASEA, but kind of throughout our profession. You'll have 8 of those people that will be active after 90 days. So they'll be ordering every single month, which means the residual income that you'll benefit from month after month. And after that, you'll find that 4 of those 20 people will be active after a year. So about a 40%, let's say about a 20% retention. Now you can of course increase those averages based on your follow-up and how well you're working with those people. But from these 4 people that stay active in your organization, that will create about 70% of your volume of your team after a year. So you can see how important it is to have this focused push in your business. Now, from this 20 people, you'll have 2 of them that will be rock stars after 5 years. They'll be going crazy, and you will have 1 major builder. I can tell you this is exactly how this is played out in our business and in our team. And again, I'll show you some real live examples from a number of top leaders of exactly what they've done. So let's look at an example here. I want to show you by creating momentum how that can absolutely increase your benefits. So let's see, if we're using the slow tortoise method, the horse and buggy method, and let's say, for example, if you go that way, you're not going to have the same kind of energy and enthusiasm as you would if you're doing an all-out massive action. You're not going to attract people to have the same energy to attract people in the same sort of way. So let's say you might do 10 presentations. And out of those 10 presentations, maybe you'll sponsor 2 of those people. Now, how many people do you need to talk with to enroll 20 people? Well, if you're going to sponsor 2 of those 10, you'd have to do 100 presentations. That's a lot of presentations to enroll the 20 people that you're looking to do in this particular focused push. Okay. Now, let's say, for example, maybe you'd have to set up 150 appointments to do 100 presentations, because some of those people will, won't be able to make it, won't show up. You have to change and delay or whatever for various reasons. And so you might need to make 300 calls to set up 150 appointments, to do 100 presentations, to enroll 10 people, or to enroll the 2 out of 10 on those averages. So what this means is it's less enrollments, more attrition, due to the lack of energy or enthusiasm or passion. So the tortoise method is probably not the one that I would want to go for. You want to have excitement, you want to have enthusiasm, you want to have energy when you're talking with people. So let's take a little different look at this. The truth is that network marketing loves speed. And the best way to sponsor 20 people in 20 days is to have more enthusiasm. So when you're on an all-out massive action push like that, what's going to happen is that you'll probably sponsor 4 of the 10 people. You'll probably have more like a 40% success rate. Your energy will be much higher. And so you only have to do maybe 50 presentations versus 100 presentations. And you'll have to set up half of the number of appointments. Instead of 150, maybe it's 75 appointments. And instead of 300 calls, it would be maybe 150 phone calls to set up the 75 appointments for that same thing. So you can see that your runway is much shorter because you've got better success rate, you've got better retention, more money, more enthusiasm. And guess what? You're going to have a whole lot more fun that way too, because your success is going to help to perpetuate that success of other people. So it's kind of fun to think of it as a game and to get into that state and to really have that energy. So let's look at some examples here. In fact, I see the phenomenal Mr. Richard Lee is on the call with us. And Richard Lee is an incredible rock star. This guy has got a work ethic like none other. He is really good at creating duplication and working with his team. In his first 90 days, he sponsored 16 people. And Richard is an ambassador triple diamond, and was actually just recognized as the number 3 income earner in Australia. So well done, Richard. Bravo, my friend. Melissa and I, we sponsored 20 people in the first 90 days of our business. And actually, I need to update that. We're Ambassador Diamond now. Dan Doyle, Danny sponsored 22 people in his first 90 days. And it's kind of fun. I also remember there was an incentive. We won a trip to Cancun. And so that made it even more enjoyable, as we had the advantage of benefiting from the company's promotions and things that they put on as well. So that was pretty cool. Let's see, we've got David He. David just shared his story actually on our Success Academy event that we had yesterday. We had him on recording, and he talked about his quite passionately about the struggles that he had with his former business. He made a decision to build an ASEA business, and he sponsored 24 people in his first 90 days. David actually is no longer a triple diamond. He's an ambassador double diamond, earning a fantastic income and really being able to enjoy the fruits of his efforts and labors on that too. So then we could look at Justin and Nicole. They are ambassador diamonds, and they sponsored 25 people in their first 90 days. The remarkable one and only Mal Sword, he is an ambassador triple diamond. And Mal actually had kind of I guess you could call it a relaunch of his business. Mal actually flew to Salt Lake City with Dan Doyle, but he didn't engage his business at that time. It was 14 months later when I remember having a conversation with Mal. He was really, really struggling at the time financially. He had his kind of his feet in another opportunity that wasn't working out so well. And I said, hey, Mal, you need to come aboard here. I remember sitting down with him. He made a clear decision in right around Christmas of 2015, and he jumped in on board with us. Mal is an ambassador triple diamond. He is Australia's #2 income earner, earning well over $1 million a year with ASEA, over $100,000 a month, and he sponsored 25 people in his first 90 days, or the 90 days from the time that he decided to build his business is probably more accurate. The phenomenal Lorraine Bavart, she is a triple diamond. She sponsored 30 people in the first 90 days. And this, and here's the record setter right here, Dorothy Ung from Malaysia. And Dorothy actually hit diamond rank in 88 days, if you can believe that. So she sponsored 55 people, and she is now triple diamond. So you can see that momentum and really launching or engaging in this focused kind of an effort can really make a big difference. It creates fun, energy, excitement, and it's really sets you up as a leader. So I'd like to go over just a couple points here that I think are so important, that it's all about exposures and the number of follow-ups. Now, some people are really good at talking to people, but they're crap at following up with people. If you're not going to follow up, you're wasting your time. So when you talk with people, make sure that you take the time to build those relationships, to follow up with them, to make sure that they've reviewed the information or where they're at, because it's a little bit of a process. You're building a relationship, you're building a partnership with those people. You are truly looking for, well, of course you're looking for customers, but you're also really, when you're building a business, you're looking for partners, people that you want to build a future with. You also want to create momentum, and by keeping it simple. You don't need to overcomplicate it. You don't need to know everything about redox signaling technology. You don't need to be an atomic medical physicist, for example. You just need to be excited about the benefits and realize what we've got our hands on and share that. Let other people be the experts. I would recommend that you set a start date. So when you clear your calendar and you talk with your partner, your family, just say, hey, you know what, let's say from March the 10th or whatever the day that you pick, say, you know what, I need 90, and you could set up your game plan. Maybe it's 30 days that you're going to do. Maybe you're going to do an all-out massive blitz for, you could do a week, but I'd suggest make it at least 30 days and even preferably 90 days, because you can really create momentum in that cycle with helping your team as well. But for sure, make it at least a 30-day blitz. And get the support from the people around you, from your family and so forth, so that just let them know that you're going to need some help and some support, because you're not going to be as available during that time, because you're going to be working and focusing on your business in a focused way that way. So if you've got a job or another business or something, what you're going to need to do in terms of that time is to clear your time, meaning that you've got your job, you've got your commitments that you've got, and then you throw everything else at your ASEA business. Make a master list of names and make it big. I want you to don't prejudge who needs these products. I want you to come from the place of realizing that everybody that you know, that you care about, and that you love needs to know about this technology. Now, some of those people, and you know what, every one of those people know hundreds of people that need to know about this technology. It's not who you know, it's who they know and who they know and who they know. You need to really think in terms of visualizing the snowball rolling and creating something through word of mouth exposure and the word of mouth benefit. Now, when you've made your list as big as you can, I want you to go back and I want you to think of all the people that you know. Who do you know who is absolutely the most successful? You know what? Successful people tend to be successful at other things too. They have credibility, they have influence. Those are the kind of people that you want to have on your team. And sometimes we're afraid of those people. We could even call it our chicken list. And you know what? I ask people, I said, what's the worst thing that could happen if you go and talk to someone on your chicken list? They're so successful that they wouldn't be interested in this. Are you kidding? The worst thing that could happen is people think that is for them to say no. Thanks, but no thanks, I'm not interested. That's actually not the worst thing. The worst thing is that they could say, oh, gosh, you should have called a week ago. I just signed up under somebody else. And that would be a disaster, because they could have been on your team, okay? So so make your list, make it big, don't be afraid. And guess what? If you talk to someone and they say no, you haven't lost anything. You have lost nothing because you didn't have them on your team to begin with. So maybe you've planted some seeds, you've had a connection with them, you've reconnected to build that relationship. And you know what else you've done is you've planted a seed for later. Because often people, maybe it's the wrong timing for them, but they could be interested later, for example. So as I mentioned, you want to plan your day, plan your week, plan your month, block out your time, schedule the times that you're going to be doing calls and follow up, this sort of thing, and create an action. It's a great idea to have an action partner, someone that you're actually playing with. Now, this could be your sponsor, for example, or you could go upline to where you've got, maybe your sponsor isn't as engaged or as active. That's okay. Go to their sponsor or their sponsor. And so, you know, if you're in Richard Lee's team, for example, you could say, hey, Richard, I want you to be an action partner with me. I want to just touch bases with you daily, let you know how it's gone. This could be as simple as a text. And we've got a point system where you can actually track your income generating activities, the number of contacts and follow-ups that you have, so that you're staying engaged with the right kind of activity. And then remember that the fortune is in the follow-up. Okay, that is so vital to make sure that when you schedule an appointment, that you follow up with people accordingly. And then also make sure that you create a reward for yourself so that you can actually celebrate your success. It's not all about work. We need to have some play and enjoy that, and do something where you can celebrate your success, preferably even with some people in your team that you can do something fun together and celebrate. Going out to dinner, maybe going out to a movie, or doing something that's fun. Now, I want to just nail this down to some success tips. I want you to realize that productivity is nothing more than product plus activity. We've got the best product in the world. We have something truly amazing. No one has what we have, but you need to combine that with the activity of making the calls and doing the follow-up, and that is productivity. So if you want to be productive, just remember it's those two things. There we are. Productivity is nothing more than product and activity. Move products and be active. So always think, what am I doing right now that I would like my team to duplicate? What am I doing right now to be the diamond that I am? It's so important to just lead by example in this way. So it's also interesting to kind of look at, sometimes you just need to bite this down in bite-sized pieces. Now, sponsoring 20 people in 20 or 20 days, or excuse me, 30 days or 90 days, that sounds like a lot. But you know what? If you just divide that down, what are we talking for a 12 weeks? It's really not that many people at all. So if we've got, so yeah, just 20 divided by 12, it's anyway, it's not that many. It's about 1.5 people a week. So if you set a goal of sponsoring 2 people a week, you know, you will have maybe a couple weeks where you sponsor 1, maybe other weeks you'll sponsor 3, maybe some weeks you'll sponsor 4 or 5. It doesn't really matter. You want to just break it down into bite-sized pieces. So using this, Michael Jordan, for example, his goal is to score 32 points a game. Okay. Now, he was having trouble scoring 32 points a game, but when he broke it down and realized that all he had to do is to score 8 points per quarter, he found that it was more doable, that it was something that was really achievable to break it down that way. So activity is the game. You want to manage your activity, not your results. So what you want to do is just focus on how many calls, how many coffee shop meetings, for example. And I'll just use Richard as an example. He has done a remarkable job building his business with face-to-face coffee shop meetings. And I think in most places, things are easing up a little bit to where you can actually get together with people face-to-face if possible. But you know what else? Zoom presentations right now, like what we're doing over the computer, has made it so we can make more connections with people all over the world and save time and save money too. You don't have to travel, all those kind of things. So it's a great way that we can connect it. So I like to think of this as passionate activity. So when you combine that, so I also want you to realize that indifference makes the difference. So high activity allows you to detach from the results. You don't have time to worry about whether someone's going to join or not join. It really doesn't matter. Tyler Norton uses a great example of he loves steak, and if his wife was going to take him out for a really nice steak, maybe for uh, a special occasion, a birthday or something, they go get this beautiful steak, and then he's all excited. He's going to have this steak. It tastes fantastic, and then he gets up in the morning and says, "Hey, babe, what's for breakfast?" And she said, "Oh, you know what? How about if we have steak? There's still some leftover steak." And then comes time for dinner, and hey, let's have some more steak. After a while, you get kind of bored of steak. In other words, the point is that you don't want to, if you're only talking with people, just a few people sporadically, people start looking like a piece of meat. They look more like a piece of steak. And the thing is, when you've got high activity, you don't put nearly as much value on that one particular person because you've got so much activity that truly when you have indifference, it really does make the difference because people don't feel like they're being, that careless attitude will actually attract people to you as opposed to repel them. You never want to come across from the place of being needy, and nor do you need to. We have something that's really quite amazing. When you treat people with a certain level of indifference, people engage their own level of interest and they want to hear more. And that is true. That's what I found. It's really is true. So speak your truth a lot. Don't try to control other person's choice. Let them choose. They'll come along. You just want to be a very good listener. What we are is we're good problem solvers. And what this product and what this business does is it solves people's problems in a major way. We've seen people have life-changing differences, life-giving differences with the product. I mean, really some phenomenal results. Dan Doyle has graciously thanked me many times for saving his life. And all I did was just call him up and I said, Dan, I think I've found something that can help you. And I shared with him what this was and the product and the passion, and the rest is history because Dan has helped so many thousands of people all around the world. In fact, many of you on this call. So that's really important. And remember, we're sorting. We are looking for people who are looking. We're not trying to convince anybody. We're simply looking for people who are looking for an opportunity right now. And you know what? Right now, more than ever, what are people looking for? They're looking for, of course, health. They're looking for ways to maintain their health, particularly with the fears or scares of COVID and the different things on this that are going on. But also, I can tell you with 100% certainty that there is a lot of people looking for ways of creating additional income working from home. And I'm excited about that. In fact, I tell you, I love making a difference in people's health, but I absolutely am. I'm actually more passionate about seeing people to achieve freedom. For me, it's all about the freedom to be able to work with who you want, where you want, when you want, and create a lifestyle that you want. The thought of going to work for somebody else just about makes me want to throw up. It really does. I just the network marketing profession, as Eric Worre says, it may not be perfect, but it's absolutely a better way. We've got every advantage of owning your own business without the negatives of overhead and high costs and all those sort of things. So I want you to realize that the company also has all sorts of promotions and incentives that you can use. ASEA wants to pay you to fly to really cool places like Italy, and this is a trip to Croatia. ASEA has provided, Melissa and I have enjoyed going to places like Cancun, let's see, Panama, Italy. Actually, we didn't go to Italy. We went to Ireland. We've been to Hawaii a couple different times, staying at phenomenal places and socializing and networking with amazing leaders all over the world. And these are trips, incentive trips that are paid for by ASEA. So as you move up the ranks, the rewards are even that much better. It's just great. Now, ASEA has one incentive that is ongoing all the time. It's this Fast Forward Plus. Now, if you're working this kind of incentive, you can actually receive extra cash and product and incentives by sponsoring 4 people in a 2-week period of time. And if you sponsor 8 people in that period of time, they'll actually give you some additional benefits. I'm not going to go into the details of this promotion, but you can find this widget in your back office. It'll tell you all about those different advantages. So when something, so I want you to remember that when that in life, when you're trying to do something good, often life will throw you a curveball. It seems like the universe is trying to test you. I don't know if anybody else can attest to that, but obstacles will come your way. Call it the adversity, or the adversary, whatever you might think. But it seems like truly the universe is going to test your resolve. So when things seem to be going against you, remember that airplanes take off against the wind, not with it. And so it's those challenges that help us to grow as human beings, to become and to be more. And you might think of it as a little bit of pain for a lifetime of gain. And so let me just stop the share. And I was going to just mention one other thing here as well. But let me just come back here. I was just going to go to yeah, I've got the income disclosure statement here too, if people have questions or want to go over that. But I tell you what, let me go ahead and stop the recording for right now.